Hello everyone, how are we all doing today in the midst of all that is going on in our nation, in our world, in our lives, and just combining all of that together? I hope that you're finding a way to stay sane, to stay safe, and also to just stay strong in the midst of everything. It's been interesting trying to put this video together, or maybe interesting trying to put my thoughts together for this video. And over the last couple of days, since last week, I've just been mulling and thinking and praying, and I just want to share my heart, as to all of this. We are at a point in our nation where things have to change. Whether we're saying end SARS must end police brutality, everything. It's interesting because I remember sometimes last year, 2019, I was stopped by one of the SARS people, and all sorts of conversation issued. The car you are driving, all my papers and everything was complete, but there was a particular paper of the car that wasn't in my name and was asking me to prove that the car was my car. And I just wasn't ready to play ball. And eventually the guy got into my car and said, drive to our station. And we drove to the station. And let's just say that it took intervention to get me out of the station. And it was interesting because even when I got to the station, I just was not willing to, it is well. So I totally understand police harassment, police oppression. If you watch that video, I'll put a tag up here. You would see how I said many years ago how we were stopped by, this wasn't SARS, this was a policeman, and how based on that experience, I've just always had these issues with how I believe that our police do not actually treat us right or police us right. But having said that, it's not all of them. There are also people in the force and in the system that are good and that do good. But it's unfortunate that sometimes the bad become more than the good, or the activities of the bad become more than the activities of the good. And we're just where we are today, where police brutality has become an all-time high. But the essence of my doing this video is really to talk about our posture as Christians. So whether you're going out to protest, and to everyone that is protesting, God bless you, well done. I pray for your safety. And I thank God that that which we are reaching out for, which is even bigger than SARS, but which is really a better nation, a better country, whether it's the police force, whether it's education, whether it's health, whether it's leadership across board, everything in Nigeria needs to change. And I believe that this is also just the seed of literally a new Nigeria. So for me, it's like hashtag the end of the old and hashtag the beginning of the new. And we all have our role to play in this. Those watching, those praying, those marching, everyone has a role to play. Personally, some days ago, I just decided, let me even know, where did SARS start from? And it was interesting to find out that they've been around since 1992. I mean, it gave me a whole new perspective to this thing. I thought maybe they were just around some 10 years ago, but they had been around since 1992, and they were set up at a time when something had happened in the nation. You can look for it. I think I found the history of SARS on Wikipedia, and there were no police on the streets, and armed robbers had literally taken over the city of Lagos, and they had to set up this special squad. Started with just 15 men, and it's grown to what it is today. And at some point in time, when issues of cybercrime then began to grow, they then started to use them for fighting cybercrime and catching people, in cybercrime, all sorts of story. That's not the point of my video. But my reason for saying that is that sometimes understanding is key, and historical perspective can be key to the mindset that we bring to issues and to the way that we tackle issues, so that we are balanced in our approach to things. And we know many times, some of the policemen, even in the force as well, they are not happy about what is going on. And it's not like they want to be the way that they are, or they are not aware that there are other counterparts that are doing certain things, are doing the things that are wrong. Interestingly enough, I came across this radio show where a policeman had called in. Well, the video is on YouTube. It's a Nigeria Info, and he talked about how he had been in the force for 12, 13 or something years, earning 50-something thousand naira. He hasn't been able to pay his house rent for 2 years, and just the whole system. He has to send his children to school, and how the whole system in itself is so fractured. It is well. But I'm just saying that a lot is happening in our country right now, and as people of faith, we need to watch and pray, protest, do everything. There needs to be action taking. Very importantly, we need to demand for good leadership. We need to demand for change. We need to demand for so many reforms in literally every sector. And there needs to be, genuinely speaking, an outcry for that. Whilst we are praying, we need to stand up, we need to cry out, we need to do all of that. I also want to say that we need to watch the words that we are speaking in this season. You look on social media and there's a lot of abuse. There's a lot of cursing going on. And we should really be watchful about our words, because you can't speak certain words in certain ways and not think that it would boomerang back on you. I mean, I watched a video where people were cursing generations, cursing their own parents, their fathers, their mothers. And I'm just like, what is going on here? We cannot be that. We can't be those kinds of people. You can't use one mouth to pray and then one mouth to come out and say something else. Even the Bible says you can't use one mouth to bless and one mouth to curse. I know that the pressure is real. I mean, everywhere is hot. The tension is hot. Everywhere is boiling. All you need to say is one thing and somebody has 10 tweets to fire back at you. All you need to say is one thing, and we are fighting for something, but we need to know how to fight together. So once again, we really need to watch the words that we are speaking and the way that we are acting one towards another in this. We are all fighting for the same thing, I hope. We are all fighting for a better nation, for a better system, for a system that works for us, for a system that will work for our children. We are all on the same table. So we all need to know that we are one, and we are one on the same table, seeking the same thing: a better nation, a new Nigeria, a better society for ourselves and for generations unborn. And finally, I just want to say that this matter of prayer, I know that many times when we say prayer, people like to say, oh, have we not prayed enough? Nigeria, we can pray. We cannot over pray. And if you know that your role is intercession in this season, please lift up your voice and continue to lift it up. Also find a company. I believe that we need to build a critical mass of people. If you're 5, if you're 7, if you're 10, that you can come together digitally or face to face and really lift up your voice to God and pray. And let God give us all prophetic words that we'll be declaring and declaring and declaring in the Spirit. Everybody has a role to play in this. Get people together, intercede for this nation, intercede for the people, pray for those going out on protest, pray for God to raise the Daniels, the Nehemiahs, the Ezras, the Zechariahs. Pray. We cannot be over prayed. It starts with prayer, it ends in prayer, it continues in prayer. What God is set to do in this season is so instrumental that the stand that we need to take in the Spirit has to be such a force. In your house, with your company, online, with your company, get people together and cook in the place of prayer and worship. In the place of prayer and worship. I also believe that there needs to be a certain kind of worship that rises up to God in this season. Cook yourselves in that place where you're just interceding for the land, interceding for the nation, interceding for the people, all tribes, all groups, all tongues. This is not this ethnic race, this people. No, it is all of us together in this thing, and we need to help one another playing the roles that God has given us to play. And finally, I want us to have long-term perspective. I think that sometimes as well, because there's also that sentiment of, oh, we've done this before, we did it when we did Occupy Nigeria, what came out of it? Nothing came out of it. We'll just shout and nothing will change. Sometimes things don't change in 6 months, they don't change in a year, they don't even change in 2 years. We need to have a certain long-term perspective to the change that we are calling for. That way we will not burn out. And it's not just long term, it is strategic. It has to be absolutely strategic. Whether we are thinking of 2023, whether we're thinking of 2027, there needs to be a way where when you pray, God will give you the direction. For those that need to go into politics, policy making, industries, sectors, all of those things, it is such a huge work. The change that we are demanding is a huge work, and it is my prayer that God will give us all the wisdom, the strategies, the politricks to be able to do what needs to be done in prayer, taking action, and standing up for what we believe in. Indeed, I believe that there is a new day. There is a new day. We see an end to all forms of corruption, all forms of poverty, all forms of abuse, all forms of oppression in any sector, in anywhere. Indeed, it is well with us as a nation. It is well with us as a people. I remember waking up this morning and just feeling so heavy. And it took a lot to just say, no, I refuse to be heavy. Because God is bigger than Nigeria. God is bigger than anything that anyone might be going through. And I had to remind myself that no, you cannot be feeling heavy. God is bigger. God is not like looking at us and wondering, hi God, angels, what are we going to do about Nigeria? No, he is bigger, and we are going to magnify him in the midst of all of these things as we say, let your kingdom come and let your will be done. So indeed, I can say welcome to a new Nigeria where we know what we believe in. We stand up for what we believe in. We treat ourselves with dignity. We treat one another with respect. We know what each person brings to the table. We recognize and respect it. And at the same time, we stay strong in prayer and we stay strong in action. Thank you for watching.